start to this game.
Yeah.
Where did it get away?
It's hard to say, to be honest. I mean, I thought it was a much better effort from our group tonight. I loved our start in the game. Obviously, there's a couple plays in the game that we'd like to have back. And there's definitely a couple calls that should have never been called against us. I don't usually complain about refereeing, but the call against Demko was atrocious, and the call against OEL, the double minor for roughing, is very questionable for me as well. And we're both critical parts of the game.
14 goals against it, 2 games.
Yeah.
What's wrong defensively right now?
Well, like I said, tonight we had 2 goals that, we turn the puck over in a couple areas, and there's the mix-up with Demmer. There's 3 even strength goals right there, and still we're struggling on the penalty kill.
What information did you get on the delay game?
I didn't really get one. I mean, the post had come off a couple times already. It came off with Leonard, I believe, in the second period. They actually had to go out and fix the post on the commercial. They had the crew come out to fix it. I mean, Demmer, he wasn't pushing the puck, the net off. It was a lot of times you'll have a post in a game that's coming off, and they've got to bring the crew out to fix the hole. And that wasn't a penalty. I didn't get an explanation.
How would you characterize the mood of the group after this one?
Well, I think they're a little down because the effort was, a lot better tonight. You can see that we did. I don't know. Whenever you get 40-something shots on net, you've done some good things. It didn't feel like a 7-4 hockey game at all. And we talked to the team quickly about that after the game. We're not making excuses for losing, but that's my thoughts on the game.
You talked about special teams, kind of the kill. I believe it's 8 straight games now. You've given up a goal to the other
We're
team's
aware.
power.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
What can you do as a coach to try and help?
One kill at a time. We're doing a lot of things, a lot of work with our PK, and haven't been able to get the job done yet.
Hey, Marcus, go ahead.
Okay, we'll start off with Farhan Lalji.
Travis, I know that you touched on it earlier with Brendan, but defensively, this team had done a lot of good things earlier in the season. It seemed like it had improved defensively.
Yeah.
The last 2 games, obviously, it's looked a little different. Are you worried that you might be regressing a little bit in that area?
Not. I mean, I'm worried that we lost tonight, and we'll have to go back and watch the game tape. I think we gave up 24 shots, 5-on-5. We had a couple. We've got 3 defensemen out of our lineup too. That might have a little something to do with it, with Pullman, Hamonic, and Shen out. And that's not my biggest concern, is the defensive part of our game right now. Even though we did give up 7 tonight, I think a couple of them, like I said, were on a couple turnovers that we probably some of our guys would like to have back, which isn't anything to do with T-zone coverage. Obviously, the mix-up on the 7th goal, and that doesn't have anything to do with T-zone coverage as well.
You look at Elias, and there were some moments in the homestand, late in that homestand, where it looked like maybe he was turning a corner.
Mm-hmm.
These last couple of games, he's been invisible. It looks like he's playing with very little confidence. How concerned are you about him right now?
Yeah, we are. We're talking to him a lot. I thought tonight he did some things that looked like he was coming. That I liked in his game. I liked that Brock got 6 shots in the game. But yeah, he's aware that he's not on top of his game. He knows that, and he's a good young player though, and he's going to find his game.
I have one more hand raised right now, and Daniel Wagner.
Travis, another strong night from Niels Höglander. Just what can you say about the energy that he seems to consistently bring, no matter what the situation is?
Yeah, he does. He's he's a spark plug in a lot of areas of the game. He's still a young guy that he's only going to get better too, which is exciting. But from the circles, top of the circles down in the offensive zone, he's a strong player.
And you talked about giving up the amount of shots that you did at 5-on-5. It did seem, however, that it wasn't just shots. It seemed to be dangerous chances with cross seam passes, odd man rushes. How do you limit those? And do you feel like
it was a little bit of a run and gun game tonight? I felt like both teams were, I think if you talk to both coaches, they wouldn't like parts of the game. They've got a pretty offensive team, even without a couple players out of the lineup. They're very strong in the offensive zone with their cycle game and their movement and their motion and their defensemen. They got a couple D-men that are dangerous in the offensive zone. I thought at times we didn't close off and shut down a play and kill the motion as quick as we could have. And I think when we're on top of our game, you see that a lot more, where we close and pin a guy up against the wall. And again, I believe if we had, when you're missing three of guys out of your top six, there's probably going to be some of that in your game. But I thought we hung in there well, even though there were some high danger chances, which you're going to try to eliminate.
Okay, we have time for two more here. We'll go to Patrick Johnston.
Just on the run and gun, Travis, how much was that down to maybe your guys? You said they wanted to show enthusiasm. They showed enthusiasm, showed energy, but maybe a little got too emotional and sort of lost track of the details a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say that, but we're up 2-0. Again, they get a power play goal at the end of the period on a big hit by McNabb, which probably shouldn't have been a power play out of it. And it's 2-1 going into the third. I think our team, when they made it 3-2, emotionally the building was rocking. You could feel momentum swaying a little bit, and it was a big goal by Hogg at the end of the third period to tie it up going into the third. And it was a 4-4 game, but 12 minutes left until the call on Demmer.
You talked about the process being better. I mean, in the end, your guys look up, they see a 7 on the scoreboard for the second game in a row. How worried are you about them emotionally?
A little bit. That's why sometimes I go in and talk to the team. Sometimes I don't. Tonight I did. Just, first and foremost, our effort was a lot stronger tonight. And I told them that too as well, that there's some plays back that we'd like to have back in the game. And I didn't think the 7-4 score wasn't indicative to the type of game that it was tonight.
Our last question tonight goes to Thomas Drance.
Travis, JT obviously looked injured during the second period, and in the third only plays 148, 5-on-5, which, he'd never do in a close game in usual circumstances. Any concern post-game whether or not he'll be available for tomorrow?
I haven't checked with the trainers yet, but yeah, he was a little banged up tonight, so we'll see where that takes us. But he was, had a big night in the face-off circle. If he can play, he'll play.
Another night where 5-on-5 anyway, you'll look down and see 4-4, right? An even scoreline.
Yeah.
How frustrating is it to be losing games at the margins, or for this to be another example of a game lost to the margins? And are you getting concerned at this point in the season, about that sort of like drip bleeding on your club?
Are you talking about?
Well, I mean, tonight it was 4-on-4, but also PK, but just like those sort of margin calls, considering your club's overall 5-on-5 game, like, is it a concern?
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, when your penalty kill's struggling and leaking oil the way we are, that's going to wear on a team. It's going to wear on the penalty killers. They take a lot of pride in it. And of course, you're going to be concerned about your team and the emotional state. That's why I think it's important that you're always talking to them and being honest with them about their game. And, we've also still got to teach. We got a lot of young forwards that we're teaching and trying to fast track as well.